it about time for somebody's favorite radio program? Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Welcome to the Tony Bruno Show. Beautiful, man. On the all-new TonyBrunoShow.com.
Parental discretion is advised. You know what they say?
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
Now, here he is.
Oh, yeah!
It's like family. It's like being
family.
at the Olive Garden.
You guys are just like family.
That's the fact!
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
I'm innocent. What's the name of that place? Big Packers.
I want full cavity searches. Everyone, go deep on them.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is
You got a big one in there?
Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking live at a pretty dead Radio Row here live in Houston, Texas. Super Bowl 51 at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Tony Bruno hocking up a lung occasionally, but feeling better as each day passes. The weather's beautiful here in the 70s for another great day. Town is starting to fill up, as it always is the case for the Super Bowls, and we are live here on Radio Row for Super Bowl 29 for me, but Super Bowl 51 for the rest of you guys out there. Or if you're from Pittsburgh, for Yins. Or if you're from South Philly, for Yous. Or if you're from, what other terms do people use to describe multiple people?
You all.
Y'all.
Y'all. Since we're in
folks,
Texas, you might as well do that. Y'all.
It's Super Bowl 59 for y'all, Yins, Yous, and whoever else is out there. And thanks for joining us. We're live. We're going to do about an hour podcast tonight. And we've been running around getting all the flavor that you crave here in Houston, Texas. Went over to the Fox big media gate day today. Talked to Joe Buck, many of your favorite. Great guy. See, I don't care what people say about Joe Buck. I know Joe Buck. He's a great broadcaster. He will be one of the all-time greats when all is said and done. And he didn't just get into the business because his dad was a Hall of Fame broadcaster. It didn't hurt, but he had to actually work his way up the food chain. Talk a little to Troy Aikman, my old buddy Jay Glazer, and Howie Long, who always still looks good, man. It's unbelievable how great Howie Long looks. Miss Robin is here, still running around, setting up the camera angles, working 24/7. Well, I go to sleep early to try to make sure that I don't fade out.
Well, somebody moved our damn cameras.
Well, because it's sitting on a table, and there's a bunch of stupid media people here. What do you expect them to do? They're looking for free stuff.
Well, we do have some fantastic sponsor items that
I'm wearing one right now. My brand new pair of Thin Optics.
I know, I like them.
Reading
They're like
glasses.
the red, white, and blue.
Very,
They're
very
patriotic.
American. Yes, they are. And we've been using Thin Optics for years because Robin bought these for me. She found them online a couple of years ago when we're looking, because I'm like a lot of people. I need reading glasses, but I don't have any place to put them, right? So I run around. And then I asked Robin, do you have extra pair of glasses? Because, when you're in a hotel or a bar or a restaurant and they bring you the check and it's too dark and you can't see, you just pop these things on, and they're right on the back of your phone, and they're great. And you see my phone right here is a little slide. You just take them off. You put them in there. If you're watching us on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, very simple. And they come in keychains.
Yeah, they come in the keychain size, which is also awesome for those of you who don't want to put them on the back of your phone. Because sometimes, like with me, I have other stuff on the back of my phone, so I can't put the glasses on the back of my phone. But I keep a keychain like this.
And so when we bought these, we became fans, and we were wearing them everywhere. And people were saying, "What are those things? What are those things?" And so when we started posting pictures of us wearing them, the people who run Thin Optics out in the Bay Area,
the fabulous Darren,
out in Northern California, was like, wow, I'm a big fan. You guys love Thin Optics. We bought them. And now he says he wanted to be involved with the show, so we've got some to give away. And they're helping sponsor our Radio Row coverage this week here at Super Bowl 51, and we thank them. And they got all kinds of colors, and they're really great because they may, some people may not like the look, but I'll tell you right now, and the good thing is it doesn't matter what size you are. That you can wear them frontwards and backwards. You just snap them on like that, and then you can look down and read. It'll look, and it looks cool. It's pretty cool. You think I look cool with these,
Actually,
Robin?
you know what? I can't even. I have to tell you, reading glasses are. A lot of people are self-conscious about the reading glasses. I'm not. I'm not one of those people. But I have to say, every single time I put the thin optics on, I get comments from everybody. They're like, "Where did you get those? Those are so cool,
Dude.
Where'd you whip those out from?"
Thin Optics. You can go to their website,
thinoptics.com.
thinoptics.com, and you can check all the stuff and order online. We're going to give some pairs away, too, this week here on Radio Row. In the meantime, though, we have all kinds of great stuff coming up. The weather's been great here. We went to Media Night last night, which used to be Media Day. And as per usual, it was a circus, but at least it was inside Minute Maid Park, the baseball stadium, which is right across the street. And I got to say this about Houston. This is my second Super Bowl here in Houston. And Houston's a great Super Bowl city for multiple reasons. The number one reason is that everything is walking distance. Reliant Stadium isn't walking distance from here.
Right.
That's the only, but most of the stadiums where they play the game aren't in downtown. But, for example, right across the street from the George Brown Convention Center, which is massive, right across the street you have Minute Maid Park, where the Houston Astros play baseball.
Right.
And then right on the other side, you got the Toyota Center, where the Houston Rockets play in the NBA.
It is. I mean, it's all right here.
And then, of course, NRG Stadium is not that far. The Houston Astrodome is still standing right next door. We were here for the Final Four in April. And our good buddy David Gow and all the great folks in Houston make us feel good every time we come here.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to the famous David Gow party.
Friday night. We don't want the week to fly by. But Friday night, we're looking forward to our second party at the Gow Mansion.
Yes.
Stately Gow
Actually,
Mansion,
you know
as
what?
they used to say.
Speaking of David Gow, he just happens to be standing in front of us. We should put him on.
Yes, we should. David Gow, who runs Gow Media, of course, SB Nation Radio, and many properties here in Houston, a couple radio stations. David, it's great to see you, man.
Thanks. It's great to be with you guys. You know, we're throwing the party just for the chance to have you come back.
No, it was a great. Our buddy Luigi's not here. He didn't make the trip this time.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Luigi drank all your alcohol, and we had to send out for more reinforcements.
It was a tragedy. People, they got very cranky when we ran out of alcohol.
I know, but that's what happens when you invite guys like Luigi. You know, he's a young guy, and he just doesn't know how to.
Actually, it's anytime you invite media.
Exactly, yes.
Media, free food, free drink, boom, it's
Media
gone.
knows how to have a good time, and we're going to have a good time Friday. I'm so glad you're back. You know, there's nothing like having the Super Bowl in your hometown. We're going to have
Yeah.
loads of VIPs and athletes there, so it should be a really great week.
And as I was just describing how everything is close here, and this convention center is massive. And, you know, usually the NFL experience runs through Radio Row, and I think they're going to do it later in the week. But the entire first floor is all the NFL experience. So this place it's got to be one of the biggest. And it's been here a while. This isn't a new facility, but this is one of the biggest convention centers I've ever seen.
It's very spread out, and we're hardly using most of the space. So we've got a lot of good room for all of us in the media. Compare this to New York just a couple of years ago. Miserable, tight. Remember we were stepping on each other? This is a really great venue.
Not that New York is, well, there's too many people in New York. That's the problem. Here,
We start
spread
with
out.
that as the basic issue. But I think we were down in the basement of some small hotel in the middle of Times Square. It was pretty rugged.
Yeah, and obviously New York's a great city, and there's so many things to do and places to go and see. And Houston's that way, too. But people come when they spend the whole week, which most people don't do. You know, you can go to the Space Center. There's so much to do. We're going to the media party tonight, which is at the Natural Science Museum, right? Are you going over to that tonight?
I am not going, but the Science Museum's a great venue for parties. Lots of wide open space, but also some really neat things to go. You need to walk around and see the dinosaur exhibit, the stone exhibit. There are a lot of great things at that museum. There's actually a very compelling butterfly exhibit. You'll walk
Miss
into a little
Robin's a
garden.
big butterfly.
Now, are they live butterflies or dead butterflies?
They are live and they are flying all around you.
Are you serious? Oh, I'll be in my happy place. I don't know what it is about butterflies, but
You mentioned dinosaurs. I see them in the media every year when I come back for the Super Bowl. My old buddies, the guys who've been around a long
There are
time.
a
like
few
I
of
have.
them roaming around here. Pterodactyls, no doubt. But the butterfly exhibit's fascinating. You walk through almost a garden, and there are thousands of butterflies of all different colors flying all around.
I am going to be. I don't know what it is. Ever since I was a little kid, butterflies have I'm flutterbys. You know, I've been fascinated by
Well,
them.
Robin and I were in Key West a couple
Yeah.
years ago. They have a butterfly museum there too.
Oh, okay.
And you walk through it, and it's tropical. It's beautiful. So we're looking forward to the butterflies. today.
I'm not wearing them right now. I do have them with me, so I'll have to wear them so you can see them. Tony bought me a pair of earrings that are these amazing, vibrant blue, and everybody thinks that it's some kind of a stone, but it actually, they're butterfly wings, and they are harvested because butterflies don't live that long. There's an artist that harvests the wings once the butterflies have passed, and she makes jewelry out of them.
So
And-
yeah, so she's
Cool.
not
Very
butchering
interesting.
butterflies to make jewelry. No,
Don't do that.
no,
Can't
do
do
not
that.
kill
No.
a butterfly.
No, but they don't live very long anyway. And she contracts out, and it's to help conserve. So a lot of part of the money that she receives for the jewelry goes towards butterfly conservatory. So.
Exactly.
How
Can't
great.
believe we're talking butterflies.
How did
On
this
the
happen? I
Super
thought this
Bowl.
was a sports show. You're a
I know.
legitimate sports show
I know,
host.
but
You're Tony Bruno.
We're giving some of the local flavor.
A
I mean,
little
that's
local
the one
flavor.
thing about.
No,
when
now
you
we
come
got
to
to
the
talk
Super Bowl.
barbecue if you want to go local flavor.
Absolutely. Now you had barbecue at your last party. That was. I heard there's a different theme though this Friday night, right?
Oh, I can't keep up. But I think it's Mexican this year. No,
I
it's
heard Italian.
It's Italian. Maybe in your honor.
Maybe, yeah. If it's Italian, I'm there.
You're right. Last time it was barbecue, and we are known for barbecue. Houston actually has an extraordinary array of restaurants.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
do very, very well with food.
Yeah, it's a great town. We
And
love
as
it.
you know, I think we're rated the fattest city in America.
Really, I thought Philly was the fattest city in
Well,
America.
I think we're certainly neck and neck. You've
Oh,
got those
although-
cheesesteaks.
Yeah, exactly. So, David, now obviously SB Nation is a huge, and one of the things about our media with the digital stuff happening is a lot of blogs like SB Nation and Deadspin and Bleacher Report. All of these places have become huge sources for not just information, but for comments, stories that you don't see in mainstream media or in your newspapers, and it's exploding. And SB Nation is one of those sites.
Yeah, we're delighted to be in partnership with SB Nation. They are the number 5 sports media site in the country in terms of total traffic. They're a great partner for us for a few reasons, but one is they have so many writers across the country, 300 sites by team, so on every locale, every sport, anything that takes place. If the big story is the Atlanta Falcons, we have an SB Nation writer in Atlanta who can come on the air and make an on-air contribution. So we love the partnership with them. They're really a very impressive company. They are, as you noted, a site where lots of new voices are coming in and connecting with audiences. There's a very high engagement level. You don't have someone like a Peter Gammons who's been 70 years and maybe 180 years in media. You have a bunch of fresh voices, and that's reflected on the SB Nation sites.
No, it's great, and that's the future of our industry, not just on the air, over the air, but in digital media too, which is exploding. And that's what people, when they say to me, when they say you're doing a podcast, I don't get that, and that's the older generation folks. But they use digital media now for TV, whatever they do. You know, they're on their phone. That's all digital media, and that's the future. There'll always be terrestrial radio, but digital medium on demand when you want it, to go back and listen to something if you missed it. That's the future of everything we consume now as a world, not just as a nation.
Well, it was fascinating. At a lunch today, we were talking about the last time the Super Bowl was in Houston, the famous Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction.
Exactly. I was here for that.
That was what everybody
yes.
remembered.
Yeah.
There was actually a very good football game that day as well.
I don't remember that.
Patriots over the Panthers in a close one.
Right.
But that was 2004, and at the lunch today we were talking about how different the world is between 2004 and 2017, and social media being the biggest. There's
Absolutely.
nothing that doesn't get reported real time, and it's out. If there's an embarrassing picture of yourself, you'll have to live with it now. 2004, you might have gotten away with it.
Exactly. Well, Janet Jackson didn't get away with it, and you're right. It's
Well,
that's-
that was planned.
You think that was fixed?
Oh, abso-freaking-lutely.
You think so? You can't
yes.
say that on the podcast, Robin. We're in a very, very
I said
religious town
freaking.
here.
Every time my girl's bra falls out, I mean, it just unfolds. She says it was an accident. I mean, are you saying it was intentional? I mean,
I'm saying that was calculated. I looked at, because when it was the whole hoopla about it, you could see like it was almost like they had exactly planned. It was Justin Timberlake, right? It wasn't?
Yes, I believe it was Justin
with her.
Timberlake.
And when you see the interaction between the two, it doesn't. There's no shock value. Like they're not shocked when it happened.
But the good thing is we've progressed, because now people do it intentionally all the time.
That's right.
That's now part of it. Miley Cyrus, I mean, it's all about shock value now.
that's right. It's
And so you
become
don't even-
fashionable.
Exactly. Like we're going to find out what Lady Gaga is going to do at the halftime of this year's Super Bowl.
It may be a bigger malfunction. We'll see.
You think she does something?
She's kind of classed it up though.
Yeah,
with
and
her
I'm not
singing
saying
and
crude,
things
or
like
I'm not saying
that.
crude or profane, but she's going to do something that, I mean, all of these shows, they're a big deal.
They're a big
Yes.
There
deal.
are people who just watch the Super Bowl who are not sports fans to see the halftime show.
I feel like ever since she teamed up with Tony Bennett, she's classed it up a little bit, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Well,
I think that might have been a very good direction.
A larger audience. I mean, you make yourself more popular. You know, you don't just want the 18 to 22-year-old girls who scream. You want everybody that you can get. And she's obviously such an amazing talent that she can do the standards and she can do classics and her current stuff.
Yeah.
Talking with David Gal, the CEO, the Muckety Muck, the Grand Poobah. What are some of the other titles on your business card, David?
Well, all it means, people like to think that the organization works for me. It's actually the other way around. I work for the organization. It's a nonstop job. You know, media never stops.
Right.
And so when a talent says something unfavorable on the air or somebody's unhappy about some matter, I'm always the one who gets to hear about it.
Of course.
Now, I have to say something that I'm sure that you've heard this before, and I'm not trying to stroke your ego or anything like that, but I've now spoken to several different people who have worked with you or are hoping to work with you or have come in contact with you in one way or another, and every single one of them says the same thing, that you are a refreshing CEO program, you know, that you treat radio differently than the way radio has become in many different businesses now, like different stations, different corporations, that you are looking at it differently.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'd love to think so. I will say I have a passion for the media. I love audio content. I love the storytelling that a Tony Bruno does on the air. It's really enriching. I've always had a passion for the media. It's not an easy business, as you know, and so it's always a balance between what you'd love to do and what you can afford to do, and how to make the company work within the context of your passions. But we are growing and doing well. It's been a long road, but our company, SB Nation Radio, has grown its affiliate base pretty significantly over the last few years. We're now reaching over 500 radio stations with both our long-form shows and our sports updates. And so we are reaching audiences across the country, and that's really satisfying and rewarding.
Well, it's great to see you, and we appreciate you being a part, or letting us hang out with you.
I'll hang out with you guys, but just as long as you come to my party Friday.
Yes.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Now,
we wouldn't miss it.
David, do you require reading glasses every now and then?
Oh, yes, I do. Unfortunately, now when I read, I must.
So now we
Well,
have one
we
of our
have it. We
sponsors,
have.
Thin Optics. Have you seen these? These
No,
are the
I don't know about
greatest
these.
invention ever. So they go on the back of your phone. So like you just put this on the back of your phone and you slide it in.
That is
So
fantastic.
when you're in a restaurant, right? What do? You have to reach, and if you don't have your glasses, you just pull these right out.
Or if you're like Tony, he used to borrow mine that I kept in
Yeah,
my
I'd
purse,
say,
but I
"Oh,
had
I
like
can't
little
see the check."
rhinestones on them, or they'd be pink or whatever.
That doesn't work
So
for
we're going to
Tony.
give you. You'll have the first official pair of Thin
Yes.
Optics reading glasses.
I'll get you the color that you want.
I would love a pair because you all are telling the story of my wife and me. She always has to bring the glasses. I don't want to take glasses to a restaurant. I don't have a purse in which to
Right.
put
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
it. It does not make sense for me to take glasses, and I always have to borrow hers. And if she's not there, then I'm just out of luck. And the last piece of this that's just so almost embarrassing is I have ordered food. I didn't know what I was ordering. I just said that meal to a restaurant.
you can't
I
see,
didn't
'cause
want to
it's
admit
darker
it.
in a
Now, you know,
restaurant,
it's-
yeah.
And then, of course, I've had to write a tip without real knowledge of what the balance of the bill was, and I just went with it, put something in, and left.
Oh.
So I
Well,
probably
you'll enjoy
over-tipped.
these. Now, does your wife wear reading glasses as well?
She does.
Then we'll have to give you
Now,
two
are you
pair
the
then.
same prescription?
Well, these are all are they different prescriptions
Well,
now?
they're usually, it's interesting because of the way they work. These are 2.0.
They're 2.0.
These are the ones that they send us with 2.0. But if you need something else, we can always
No,
get
that's
those.
fantastic. We're both 2.0,
Oh,
actually.
perfect.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
See, we were just meant to be. It's so romantic.
But see, the thing that's really cool about them is if you are a little bit different, you can just place them differently on your nose.
so they fit on your nose, and
and
then you just
then-
move their way down if you want them to be all the
and
way
then
at
you
the
can
end.
slightly adjust them depending on what you
And then
really
you look
need.
down, and boom, everything looks. You can read.
Well, you know that my wife, this is not the nicest thing she's ever said, but she thinks that her losing her eyesight, near sight, up close is God's gift to her. You know, I'm not as handsome as I used to be up close, so it's just a little better. Things got a little fuzzy,
I've
and that
never
works out
thought
very
of it
well.
That way.
That's what happens to most people. Because if you don't need glasses when you're younger, the chances are eventually you're going to need reading glasses, and you lose the vision up close.
Up close.
And you'll see people with bifocals, or these are just really easy. They're lightweight, and they're.
You know what?
We're,
Maybe
we're
I
happy
should,
to have them as a
I
part
shouldn't
of.
wear my glasses that often.
Not in the bedroom.
No, exactly.
You can wear them at a restaurant, but not when you get home in the dark of the night.
David, thanks so much for coming on.
Great to be with
We'll
you
see
all.
throughout
Good to
the
see
week
you
here.
again.
David Gow, ladies and gentlemen, CEO of Gow Media, SB Nation Radio, and a couple of other great radio stations here in the Houston market, including 97.5 ESPN Radio, broadcasting right next to us here. We got the ABC station nearby. We got Yahoo Sports. We got everybody's around here. And of course, Nickelodeon right behind us, Robin.
I know. I haven't seen anybody over there yet.
I know. I wonder who's working for them. I should be on Nickelodeon Sports, though. That's one network I haven't worked for. They should have some sort of a part-time gig for me over there, don't you think?
I agree.
Now, some other things have been going on, obviously, other than the Super Bowl. We're going to keep it local. Of course, the San Francisco 49ers making news where they hire a general manager this week. A guy who's going into the Hall of Fame probably, if not this weekend, very, very soon. John Lynch, the former defensive back, is going to be the GM there. You've got Michael Vick announcing this week that he will officially announce his NFL retirement. Where? Of course, at a Super Bowl party with Gucci Mane. Now, I don't know whether that counts officially because in the NFL, you have to sign paperwork to announce that you've officially retired from the league. I don't know if the paperwork will be signed at this club here in Houston. The club is called Grooves with Gucci Mane Saturday night. So if you got a couple extra $100 to drop, you can go and hang out with Michael Vick, who last played in 2015 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But of course, because the Atlanta Falcons are in the Super Bowl, it becomes, I guess, more fitting because obviously he started his career and had some great, unbelievable seasons with the Atlanta Falcons before then he had the dog incident, then went to the Philadelphia Eagles, and the last couple of years of his career going around from team to team. But he last played in 2015. Michael Vick's going to retire in the best place possible in the club. I'm going to have to bust out some 50 in his honor. We'll do it later on in the week when we get closer to the Super Bowl.
Now, Tony, I just got a text message that
From Mark Teixeira?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
From the fabulous Jen Sherlock,
yep,
who is bringing a very important person over to see us right now.
Somebody with free alcohol?
No, but it is one of my favorite all-time movies, sports movies.
Oh, I was going to say, what's the one, not The Notebook.
That wasn't one. That's not even on my top 50.
It's like the quintessential chick flick, isn't it, The
well,
Notebook?
But I'm not like into huge chick. I like some chick flicks, but
Isn't
I don't
Sherrick Rick Grimes in The Notebook from Walking Dead? Isn't he in that movie?
I don't think I've ever even watched
I think
The
he
Notebook.
is. I think what's his name is in the Notebook.
I don't even know what his.
Anybody listening who can tell me who was the lead in The Notebook, you can tweet us at Tony Bruno Show. Now I still sound like I'm sick, but I'm not. I'm actually getting better. I'm taking heavy medication. What do they call it? Not prescription grade. It's above that.
Yeah, prescription grade.
No, there's one. The ultimate grade, like weapons grade. I'm taking weapons grade narcotics.
It's gone nuclear.
Nuclear grade.
Nuclear narcotics.
I went to NASA right down the street here in Houston at the space station, at the Space Center, and they sent it down from the actual space station. There are a couple of astronauts, who've been on the International Space Station, who've been making the rounds here on Radio Row.
I know. I saw one of them. She had her NASA blue suit on.
Yeah, that's cool. I got to get one of those NASA.
Are they coveralls?
I don't know what they're called. It's a uniform, but they're an astronaut because they're wearing the blue thing.
Because it has the little spaceship on the side, and
Exactly.
it has the stars. And
You know what I didn't download, though? We've got to download it, Robin, and I don't have it loaded in my system.
What's that?
When we bring our next guest on here in a few moments.
Oh.
The actual soundtrack. Can you find that in there?
Let me see if I can find it really
plugged
quick.
in. I can do it on here, but I don't know if I can play it from here.
No, you can't play it from that one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
But
It's okay. We're live on Radio
we are
Row.
actually live right now. So
And people are watching us all over the world on Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube. What else, Robin, are they watching us on?
Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube.
Exactly. And now I am being handed, ladies and gentlemen, the official Super Bowl live auction program. Woo! Because there's a lot of great sports paraphernalia that will be auctioned off this weekend here, and all for charity. Well, is all of it for charity or just some of it's for charity? Some of it's for charity. But joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, even if you're not a Notre Dame fan, which some of you may not be, chances are you were inspired by this man. I have a lot of great friends Mike Golick, my good buddy, who's going to be on the show later on this week.
Here it is, the theme song.
You you ever watch this movie, Robin?
Yeah, like this is one of those movies that doesn't matter if you catch it halfway through. If it's on, you watch the rest of it.
Do you cry during Rudy?
I will cry within the first 30 seconds.
Do you cry as much as Chuck Schumer's been crying the last couple of days?
I cry. I mean, it's one of those movies where you've seen it once, and I bawled my eyes out the first time, and then now you just cry no matter when.
And the man, ladies and gentlemen, who was the inspiration for this movie, is with us right now. With his is that the actual Notre Dame helmet? Rudy Rudiger, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy, how are you, buddy? Is Rudy's mic on, Robin?
Oh, that would
Oh,
help.
there we go. There we go.
Thanks. It's good to be here, first of all. And
let me see that jersey because I want to hold it up.
The actual jersey.
This is your actual Notre Dame jersey?
Yes.
Game worn?
Game worn one time in a game.
Let me smell it. Is it?
Smell it? Not much action. 27 seconds.
Does it count? Does it count if it doesn't have body odor on it and stuff?
I only
no
played
sweat?
27 seconds, so it's
because in Japan they sell this stuff like women's underwear. They sell it like right away in vending machines.
Is that right?
Oh,
yeah,
it's kind of creepy, actually.
It's really they are creepy over there like
I
that.
don't know if I want to go there, Coach.
No, okay. It doesn't smell. Has this been cleaned? Is it okay if you clean it?
Yeah, no.
No.
Actually, it's a game worn uniform. The managers actually presented this to me because there was no name on the jersey when I played. They put the name on the jersey, and they also presented my helmet to me after the.
That's so cool.
And so this is going to be auctioned off?
Yes.
Oh, it says Irish on the front, so you know it's official.
Yeah.
But it's got some wear and tear. Well, you have a small head, Rudy.
Well, look inside.
Oh, it's got the netting.
You don't see that anymore.
No.
See the name, Rudiger, and see the when they restore the helmet, so you can wear it another year.
Oh, beautiful. Now I don't. This won't fit on my head. This.
It should.
You think it should? Can I put it on?
Well, you know what I think. You know why I think it looks smaller, Tony, is it doesn't have all the padding that the helmets do nowadays.
Right,
I mean, it was a lot more dangerous.
No, it's got
it's
got like netting in it.
Yeah,
right
it's
at
not.
the top.
It's not the same type of padding.
Your brain rattled a lot.
Yeah.
My brain's been rattled many times, and I didn't even play football. Let me try to put this on here. No, it's not going to fit.
Well, Tony, you do have an abnormally large head.
Oh, Tony's trying.
Seriously,
Right,
Tony, you're
that's
not.
about the best I can do. There we go. I am wearing Rudy's helmet from Notre Dame days.
That's the best. You can't get it off.
Good God.
How many people can say they've worn Rudy's helmet from Notre Dame, Robin?
Oh.
Me and you.
That's about it.
I'm the only person that's put this on this week, Rudy?
There was one other player before me. I got his helmet. His name's in there. Can't read his name.
Now you've been here.
It's a hand-me-down helmet.
We've been here a couple of days, obviously. We've seen you here, and I know you when you were played at Notre Dame, you had to go through a lot, but you've been running around a lot here. Now this has been a good workout, huh?
Yeah, we've met a lot of people, and believe it or not, what's interesting, a lot of people want to talk to you because they grew up with the movie Rudy.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. It's one of the greatest sports. You know, there's excuse me. Regardless of what people say, it still is one of the greatest. Because there are people say, "Oh, you didn't really play," and that's an exaggerated story. What do you say to the people who talk about that stuff when they say that kind of stuff to you?
I still love them. That's fine. They can think what they want. I know what I did.
Absolutely. And there it is. There's the picture. Number 45 standing there.
That's the game. That's the kickoff.
Exactly.
That sure looks like you're on the field there, Mr. Rudiger. For those naysayers out there.
There's the tackle.
There it is.
Like in the movie Invincible, my friend Vince Papale, they made him look like he made a big fumble, and he didn't. But he's still Vince Papale, and they still made a great movie called Invincible. Did you see Invincible, Rudy?
Yeah, it's a great movie. Then there's a carry-off.
Then they carried you off the field.
No.
They carried me out of the media party last night. Does that count?
Yes, it does count. Yeah, absolutely.
Rudy Rudiger. Now, of course, Rudy is the nickname, right? Because your real name is Daniel Rudiger, right?
Yeah, I'm one of 14, so we're all Rudys. The teachers can never remember your names. They call it Rudy.
It's like George Foreman named all his kids George,
yeah,
right?
We're Rudys to the teachers.
Now, is there anything about the movie that you would have liked to have seen differently, or?
Well, there's a lot to a movie you cannot change, but there's a lot to a movie you can do to make it work. You can't change a true story.
Right.
You can't change the journey, but you can embellish it. That's the key. So we did a lot of embellishment, a lot of composites, because working with Notre Dame and Hollywood, you had to collaborate, and to get Notre Dame's okay, we had to do that.
Yeah.
We got a 92% rating from the accuracy, but more importantly, the message. We developed a message. We wanted a message, so it's going to be a movie that will last for a long time. It's a timeless story.
Absolutely.
Of not giving up, having a dream.
Never
it's not
give up.
about really playing. I only played 27 seconds, so it wasn't really about football, but we had to go through to play the 27 seconds.
Yeah.
I was in the military, in the Navy before Notre Dame. We couldn't show that in the movie. We didn't have time.
Oh, okay.
But I had Sean Astin carry the sea bag.
Uh-huh.
So it did represent
Okay.
that.
So that's where you got it. You got
Right.
that glimpse.
You got the glimpse, right. And so all those little moments that we created, we had to do some embellishment to make it work.
Now, your relationship with your father, was it fairly accurately portrayed in that it was somewhat strained?
Well, here was awesome about Ned Beatty. He had 8 children, and he was a butcher. And he tried acting, didn't do well, so he went back to butchering. Then he got his shot. He got a shot in a movie called Deliverance.
Yes, I remember the squealing scene. Yes.
Yeah, oy vey.
Okay. Then it's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Then all of a sudden his career takes off, and now we are casting for a father. I love Ned Beatty. He was he looked like my dad, acted like my dad. Ned Beatty loved to drink beer after he rapped for the day. He talked with everybody. He was blue collar all the way. He was a natural. So he was good. Sean Astin was in a movie called Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him. He was chasing a dream. And then Goonies, from that, all the other movies, Encino Man and Memphis Belle is what really kind of engaged me, because my dad was on the B-17 bombers, and he was right where my dad would be in that B-17 bomber. So all those connections, after 10 years of going out to Hollywood, then I had to get Notre Dame's approval. Once we got Notre Dame's approval, then after we had 48 hours to get Notre Dame's approval. But that was after Notre Dame told me never to walk on campus to talk about the movie again. And there was a mailman in Santa Monica, California, helped me find the writer of Hoosiers so he can write Rudy. So all these stories.
But they love you at Notre Dame, right? I mean,
the people, yeah, the administration loves me. And what's interesting, when you go there to do book signings, people always, they want, how was the movie made? So we're doing a documentary. They're making a Rudy now to show you how the movie was made.
Beautiful.
Oh, very cool.
So we're excited about that.
Now, when we were talking the other day, when I first met you, you were talking about you have a relationship with Temple University, my alma mater in Philly, right?
You bet. Dr. Ray Coughlin, math professor there, one of his kids came up and said, I'm going to drop your class. And Dr. Ray says, okay. But before you drop, you go home and watch the movie Rudy. Now, if you don't like the movie, you come back, I'll let you drop the class. The kid became one of his best students.
See the power of movies in our lives, Robin? Especially inspirational movies.
Exactly.
Because when I watch a movie, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cry.
Listen, when I saw Rocky, it inspired me. I wanted to meet Sylvester Stallone. So I wrote him a letter in 1982. I got a beautiful letter back, not my cup of tea. So in 1993, I'm on a jet plane going from L.A. to Las Vegas to promote Rudy, Cliffhanger, Sleepless in Seattle, Look Who's Talking Now, Last Action Hero. And on that plane was John Travolta and Sylvester Stallone. My time now. I'm going to tell him, hey, dude.
Remember me?
What happened was he wanted to meet me after the whole thing. I flew home with him. We had a great conversation. Then they did an article on Stallone in Cigar Aficionado, and they asked him, how do you want to be remembered? So I want to be remembered. I don't want to be dogmatic. I just want to be remembered like my friend Rudy I met from Notre Dame. He was a pain in the butt in a positive way. That's the legacy. That's why they respect you, because of that. You don't give up.
Exactly. Well, the helmet that I hold here and the jersey, the Rudy Rudiger game worn from that game in 1975, it was November 8th, I believe, right?
November 8th.
1975.
27 seconds left.
And it's going to be and Hunt Auctions, which is a Philly-based company as well, right?
I can't believe you're auctioning it off. I mean,
yeah, it's doing for good. It's
exactly
giving it
That's
back
amazing.
to the fans.
So explain, because it's going to happen. The live auction is going to be February 4th at 11 a.m., which is Saturday, right? Is that Saturday?
Yes.
That's this Saturday, Super Bowl
yeah.
Saturday, live auction at 11 a.m. at the NFL Experience right down here in the convention center.
Correct.
And there's going to be an unbelievable amount of memorabilia. In fact, this entire program that I have here that Rudy has on the other side, the stuff that's in there is unbelievable. But if you're a Notre Dame fan, especially, this is something that's going to.
Or a Rudy fan. Or
a Rudy fan, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be Notre Dame.
But Notre Dame, it's got Irish on there. I mean, even if you're.
We could take Irish off.
Can you take that off of there?
No.
No, you don't want to take that off. This is the Golden Dome, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And everybody has a little bit of Irish in you.
I have a Golden Dome, but it's usually not until the summer when the weather warms up and we put some, but a lot of sunscreen.
Let me ask you something, Robin.
Yes.
You said you got emotional when you saw the movie. The movie meant something to you.
It did. It
wasn't about football, Notre Dame.
Right.
No,
right.
I mean, like,
and that's why this helmet means something to somebody.
I think so. I think that it's one of those top 10
Number
movies
3
about the. Well, I mean, I'm being
right.
Because there's so many movies out there from the beginning of time, but like those top 10 movies where somebody that's either coming from behind, the underdog, the person that says you're never going to be able to do this, you're never ever going to amount to anything, and even though you didn't become the star quarterback, you portrayed you don't have to be the number one to be able to achieve your dreams.
That's correct, and that's a great message. Try your best, forget the rest. Contribute, and you'll be great. Like the President of the United States in 1994 called and wanted to watch the movie Rudy in the White House, so we took the movie to the White House.
That would be Bill Clinton at the time, right?
Yeah, he was an underdog, he felt. So he wanted to watch an underdog movie. One of the girls that worked on our set went back to Washington after the movie wrapped, met the First Lady's brother, got engaged. They were talking at dinner one night about an underdog movie she did. Said, let's bring that to the White House. So we went to the White House, watched the movie Rudy in the White House with 59 of his friends.
Beautiful. Not the underdog movie. That was terrible. That was a bad movie about a cartoon character.
I mean, seriously, like, look at this. I was just talking about the movie, I'm like totally tearing up. I don't know what it is.
So this is coming up Saturday. Now, you have to be. Now, the auction is not an on-phone thing, too, right? It's only people who are physically here. Oh, you can call in during the live auction?
Right.
But you have to have somebody. Live auctions now are all over the world, so people can be bidding, not just here live in Houston at the convention center for this. The Hunt Auction folks are out in Exton, Pennsylvania, and they do this every year, and it's a great, great thing. There's over 500 pieces of memorabilia, but the Rudy helmet and the Rudy game-worn jersey, and it smells good, too.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, probably no Febreze on there.
Yeah.
It's, after a while, I think smells just dissipate.
Now, did they ask you to sign this, or does that change the value?
I'm not sure how we're going to do that.
Yeah, that's a good, because people
It's probably up to the person who won.
Who
wins,
won it,
if they want you
know,
to.
There's people out there who want this jersey.
Right.
They want for their company, for an example.
Exactly.
They want to hang it in their company, make it the Rudy Award. They want this to remind them grit and grind pays off. That's what I'm sure that's what's going to get this.
And the good thing is a lot of the proceeds are going to good causes. It's not just somebody's just selling this to make money.
Right. And there's why charities are involved.
Exactly.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for the purpose. There's a purpose for this. And there's a reason why I made the movie. There's a reason why the mailman brought me to the Angelo Pizzo's house. There's a reason why the president of TriStar Pitcher applied to Notre Dame, got turned down, and went to Michigan State as a walk-on. Now he's got $25 million. He wants to make another sports movie like Hoosiers. Everything's aligned. Be patient. Position yourself. Keep moving forward. Just like in the game that I played, I had no chance of suiting up for that game because only 60 kids could dress when it would be 110, but the NCAA come in that year and cut it down to 50, 60 kids. What are my chances? One captain went in and said, Rudy should dress. Let me dress. 27 seconds left because I went to practice prepared, made the tackle. You don't quit on practicing or being part of something. You never know when your moment's going to happen. This happened. Now I get to speak to the world and speak constantly to companies, schools, churches, and it's a message. It feels important to me that someone who really appreciates what this means gets this helmet in jersey because it does mean something. I see kids, I see mothers cry, I see Listen, I had an NFL former player come up to me today and said, "You're my hero." He won 4 Super Bowls.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
He was in a real dark part of his life. Changed his whole life. This movie, Kobe Bryant, the same thing. Said, because of the movie, when he was 16 years old, watched this movie over and over again when he was in Italy with his father, his military. Said that movie reminded him, don't take your talent for granted. People with no talent that keep getting up inspired him, and that's what the movie did. So you don't know who this movie inspires. A kid who carried me off the field, I'll show you the picture, one of the kids.
The book's over on that. I think you have it on that side.
One of the kids who carried me off right here wanted to quit Notre Dame. I inspired him to stay on the team. He dies 5 years ago. I had to send him a Rudy jersey to put in his coffin. That's how much it means. So there's a real meaning to this.
Beautiful. Well, Rudy, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Jen Sherlock, who we know, does a great job.
And Erica.
And
Temple.
Erica. No,
Temple.
Erica's a Temple girl.
Oh, we have not met. We haven't had the pleasure yet.
Robin's daughter just graduated from Temple
yes.
last June.
Did she have Dr. Ray Coughlin?
No, she did not.
No, she was a musical theater major. She didn't care about
daughter's at the Boston Conservatory.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know it well.
Yes.
Good
yes,
for
that
you.
lifestyle is.
Yeah, Robin, she takes after you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good
Rudy,
for
thanks
you.
so much for coming by. We really appreciate it. And
God bless you.
I know a lot of people. This thing's going to go through the roof on Saturday. There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, just the Notre Dame fans and the Rudy fans that I know are going to be bidding on this thing. So now, if you want to go online and participate, you can go. Here's the website, right? Is NFLauction.com?
Is it a what do you call it, auction?
Blind auction?
Is it a blind auction, or can you actually see what the bids are?
So there's a lot number. It's just like any other online auction.
So can you tell us what it's up to already?
Around it's starting around 30,000. And obviously, when we get to the actual auction day on Saturday at 11 a.m., that's when it all goes crazy.
Unfortunately, it's a little out of my league right now, but I definitely want a picture with it.
Hey, and people, if they want to text me, I could send them a little software that they can get involved with, how to position yourself and build relationships. It's 385-498-1515. Just text Rudy, and we'll text you back.
What's the number again, Rudy?
It's 385-498-1515, and text Rudy.
Text Rudy, R-U-D-Y, and Rudy will personally respond and give you some information. Rudy, thanks so much, buddy. It's good to see you.
I'm glad we got to do that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I am so
happy. I
happy.
was wondering if we're going to get on your show.
Yes. Well, we weren't live yesterday. I was dead yesterday.
Yeah.
We're live today.
All right.
We're glad you came back to
Well,
see
keep
us.
the book, and you could browse
thank
through
you.
that.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Rock and roll.
We gotta
And I want to take a
with the
picture.
jersey, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we have
So-
it.
We already. Did you
So
get
no-
a picture of the helmet on your head?
Yeah, we
That's
have
the
it
best.
on. We have it on camera.
I definitely we
okay.
should get another one. Now, for
I'm
those
not
of
putting the helmet on again.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
that was hysterical.
Yeah.
You looked and your nose was all
I know.
smooshed up. It was priceless.
What size is that helmet? You
It's
know?
a 7.
No, I'm like a 7 and 9/8.
I was 6 and 7/8 in college.
Really?
That you grow. I had a lot
Yeah.
of hair. Yeah, your head gets bigger as you get older.
Exactly.
I
or
didn't
as
know
you become
that.
more popular. Something like that. Rudy Rudiger, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a roaring round of applause here with our simulated studio audience
All
that we
right.
bring with us all the time. Let me see where I can find it. Now, I can't see. I got to put that's why I have my thin optic glasses on here. So you put these on.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to put glasses on, and then you can see. And then you can say, let's give Rudy a roaring round of applause.
Yeah. All right.
When the audience isn't there, you bring the audience with you. Thanks so much
Thank
again,
you.
Rudy.
God bless you guys.
God
Thank
bless you too. Rudy Rudiger, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal.
Wow.
The crowd just won't stop. The crowd won't stop. Listen to him. Rudy.
Rudy. Now Tony, can you keep talking for a second while I get to take a picture with him?
Absolutely, Rob, and that's what I do. We just go have dead air here, just play a song. I'll play an Agata Davida and get up. I could play some NFL music, though. How about if I play a little John Facenda, The Autumn Wind?
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering
boisterously.
His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache.
How
He
great is John
growls
Facenda?
as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
The greatness that is the late, great John Facenda, the voice of NFL films for so many years. And, of course, the Raiders in the news again today because Sheldon Adelson, the big multi-gazillionaire in Las Vegas, who runs a lot of the casinos out there, was supposed to be the main guy to build a new stadium.
I know. I thought it was done deal.
No, that thing keeps falling apart. It was like the old the Los Angeles situation from I ran into Sam Farmer, the LA Times writer, who I jokingly was talking about, what are you going to do now, Sam? Sam was the guy who, year after year, was always talking about the NFL is going to have a stadium, and then he would show all the mock-ups of all these proposals for stadiums that somebody was going to build so that the team would move to L.A. So they finally got 2 teams now. I said to Sam, so now what, Sam? What are you going to write about? You were the stadium guy in L.A., and now the Raiders, I read recently, or just a few minutes ago before we came on, that the Las Vegas thing isn't totally dead, but Sheldon Adelson was going to be one of the big money guys who was going to put up to build this stadium in Las Vegas so the Raiders could move. Now the Raiders, who have been trying to stay in Oakland, but they're not going to build a new stadium, and taxpayers don't want to pay for it, which I don't blame them. But now there's a report that the Raiders may think about moving to San Diego, which just lost a football team because they have an old, decrepit stadium that's not really suitable, sort of like the Raiders Stadium right now is in Oakland.
I don't get it.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, you know me, I love the Raider fans and the Raider Nation. We go to the black hole, and those people are diehard. And if Oakland loses the Raiders and California loses 2 of its 3 NFL teams, and the Rams were here and then they left and came back, but it's going to be really bizarre to see the Raiders leave again. And they moved to L.A., and we talked to Howie Long today. He was, he said a lot of people don't remember him being a Raider. I mean, that's how time passes. But the real Raider fans remember the Los Angeles Raiders, when they won the Super Bowl with Howie Long and those guys. But the Raiders will always be the Oakland Raiders to me.
For like my dad growing up in Redlands, California, in the Los Angeles basin, he remembers the Los Angeles Rams. That was his team growing up, and then they disappeared forever. And then when he moved up to the Bay Area, he became a Niners fan.
Well, of course, because Joe Montana was there, and every front runner jumped on the bandwagon.
But he was never a Raiders fan. Even because the Raiders were in L.A. after the Rams, and he was down there. I hate to
do it to your dad, Robin, out there in Phoenix, Arizona.
I know. He never became a Raiders fan. He stayed true, because he couldn't change.
But here's the bigger question: is he a Niner fan now? How many Niner fans are still on the bandwagon now?
Well, I know that he's not a Arizona Cardinal fan.
Well, there aren't any Arizona Cardinal fans. No, they are. I'm just kidding. We got friends in Arizona.
Now,
we always joke around
about that. I think out of all the teams, he's still a Niner fan, but he's not an avid Niners fan. But that's kind of a Niners fan MO, isn't it?
Exactly.
they're like big fans when they're good, and
it's the greatness of the Raiders. We want to thank Rudy for coming on, and of course David Gow. I got to do my San Francisco hit at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock here Pacific Central Time. And that, of course, would be 4 o'clock in the west, 7 o'clock in the east, as we got to get all the time. What time is that Mountain Time? I guess because they're still in Mountain Time now. Is Arizona still in Mountain Time? Or they're in Mountain Time now, right?
Yes.
So it's 2 hours difference. So it would be 6 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, and 4 o'clock Pacific Time with Damon Bruce on 95.7 The Game. So I'll do that hit live here from Radio Row coming up at the top of the hour. Tomorrow we were going to do expanded Radio Row live action with the best guests, the fun, the frivolity, all the other good stuff that happens every year at Super Bowl.
Now, before we go, did you want to play the one?
Yeah, let's play a little Joe Buck.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me.
Robin's got to find it because we went on to the Fox had their big, the network that does the Super Bowl every year. They have their one media day where they invite all the media in, And last year, of course, it was CBS. Was it CBS last year or was it NBC? Whatever it was. So if it's NBC, they bring in Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya and all their people, sideline reporters and all the studio people. They come out. They get up and talk. They brought in the Fox robot this year because Fox is there. They had some guy dressed up in a football suit robot outfit. And then Joe Buck and all the guys. Jimmy Johnson was there. Everybody on the Fox NFL Sunday show. And, of course, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews, all the Fox people who were involved in the broadcast were there. And then after they get up and talk, they sit at tables, and the media folks get down. And usually it's a group thing because there's so many people. Everybody's just sticking microphones in. So I've learned over the years that you wait till the end. And usually if you know the guys, like I know these guys, fortunately, they'll wait around and they'll do a little one-on-one. So I sat down next to Joe Buck, and a couple other media people were talking to him about his dad, the late, great Jack Buck. And he was talking about that. And then I waited patiently, and I finally had a chance to talk to Joe, ask him a couple questions. And not the normal, hey, who's going to win, Joe? You know, because what's he going to tell you? You know, so and they're not allowed to make predictions anyway. So we had a little interesting conversation. And is that ready to play right now, Robin?
Just about. I am almost there, Tony. I apologize because
that's okay, because Robin now is trying a first ever, a video and audio stream that was recorded earlier today, and we're now going to play it so you can see it and hear it on the video and audio stream at the same time, man.
And it is going to be here in just a second.
I'm vamping as much as I can.
I know. Well, here's the problem is because the video and the audio were taken separately. I am just hoping that we get it might be a little bit off as far as
sync, you mean?
Off
so
sync.
it'll be like one of those Japanese subtitle movies where the mouth's moving, but it's not the same words coming out of the mouth.
So this is what we're going to do, and we're going to see if it works. So here we go.
And stop. Joe, Cub reporter Tony Bruno.
Yes, hi Tony. How are you?
Chicago Cub reporter.
No, I got it. Yeah, I got it. How are you, man?
Good to see you. Now, I heard you talking about your dad. Not only did I meet your dad a long time ago, but your uncle Bob Buck was in Philly for a long, long time.
Yeah, he was a piece of work, and actually really, really talented. But you know, I come from a long line of announcers, and I'm honored to carry on the tradition. Let's say that.
So is this fun for you? I mean, the Super Bowls are a big deal. You've done a bunch of them, but does it get old?
No, I mean, I think it gets kind of silly sometimes, but you know, I don't know that anybody really cares about my deepest, darkest secrets and my innermost thoughts about doing the Super Bowl, but it's fun and you know, maybe shedding a little light on what we try to do during the course of a broadcast has some value, but I'm just excited for whenever it happens that they actually kick a football off and somebody tackles somebody.
One of the things that's bizarre, because you're talking about how it's changed with social media and stuff, and fans, will you get the fans, Atlanta fans who are saying you're rooting for the Patriots or the Patriots, will you get that even in a Super Bowl? Because I know you deal with it everywhere you go. The fan base of the team that you happen to be doing that Sunday, either one, always feels that the announcers, because they're not the local guys, are rooting against their team.
Right. It's just it's a simple, kind of obvious phenomenon, but I'm sure I will get that, especially from the side that loses. I think the side that wins, they really don't care at the end of the day. But when you're jumping and screaming that the Atlanta Falcons win the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl, the other side hates you because you're the messenger. So I've pissed off half the crowd, half the audience for 20-plus years. Those people pile up. But you got to do your job down the middle. And if they really step back and listen to it objectively, you'd hear the same volume for Team A as Team B, but that's just not the way the world works.
Is Philly the one city of all that seems to have the more hate for you, especially when there's a Cowboy-Eagle game? Because the Eagle fans are, you know, me growing up in Philly, there's that sense of, well, they haven't won a Super Bowl, so therefore they always feel they're being picked on.
Yeah, no. To answer your question, no. I think the San Francisco baseball Giants fans are in a category all their own. The Northeastern fans, Philly, New York, Boston, they'll get on you, but if you interact with them a little bit, they'll pat you on the back and buy you a drink. San Francisco is a little different. So I don't mind that. I'm glad they know I'm there. I'm glad they care, thank God. And, I almost don't even take it personally, because if it's not me, it'll be the next guy that they say hates their team, whether it's Philly, San Francisco, New York, whatever, because you have to get excited for the other side, and fans don't like hearing that.
Last thing, and people will ask, and I'm sure you've addressed it, but the rings, because people, that's what people, they watch, and they want to know what you're wearing, and you have the rings.
This, I'm married.
Right, I know that.
And this one, I haven't told many people this, but I'll tell you, Tony, this is my I need to lose 10 pounds ring, so that, let's say this is a beer, and I lift this to my mouth, I go, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. Or, hey, it's chicken parm.
And it tastes so good.
And it tastes so good. I put it down because I need to lose 10 pounds.
But it's the same exact ring as the wedding band. No, it's not. I'm sorry, same color.
Rubber.
Oh, I thought it was the same color.
I mean, this is like getting behind Willy Wonka's chocolate. This is like Oompa Loompa material right here.
This is the kind of stuff that people don't know about that we find out.
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
No, because from a distance it looks like it's the same ring,
It does.
but this is a real wedding
is one
ring,
that I bought.
right? And this is one that you.
This is one that you could find in at a Red Robin.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen a rubber band that small.
Where it's like a surfer's ring, a workout ring, because you can lift with it, you can surf with it. Although I don't surf, it's comfortable. I don't even know it's on. So therefore, the whole idea of I need to lose 10 pounds and I don't even know it's on, so it doesn't really work.
You should have an endorsement deal for this. You know how many people would buy that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I could do a little bit more. Like I could paint my nail a different color, or that would be more effective. But this is what I've gone with.
Always good to see you, Joe. Thanks.
See you, Tony.
The great Joe Buck. You're not getting that kind of inside the rings. It's like going inside the ring in boxing, except we went inside the ring with Joe Buck. How great is Joe Buck, Robin?
He's awesome.
Not because I know him and he talks to me, and not because I know him and he talks to me, but he's just a good guy, and he's a great broadcaster. And that's the thing that bothers me as somebody who respects people who are great at what they do, whether they're a great plumber, whether it's somebody digging a ditch. If you're really good at what you do, and in the business, of course, in media and broadcasting, personalities, great people. I don't think Joe has an abrasive personality.
Not at all.
I think, and I get to see him in non-broadcasting situations.
Right.
He's just a great guy. I knew his dad, Jack Buck. I met him back in 1982 when I was covering the World Series in St. Louis when I met him for the first time. And Joe was was his young son at the time. I mentioned his brother, Bob Buck. Jack's brother, Bob Buck, who was obviously Joe Buck's uncle, was a broadcaster in Philadelphia. A totally different personality, though. They're not all cookie-cutter Bucks. Bob Buck was really, really a guy who was way off the rails. We're talking back in the 80s. When sports talk and talk radio personality, and there really weren't a lot of talk radio personalities because there wasn't much of it available. But Bob Buck was a rebel. He wasn't your just typical, I have a great voice, I sound good, and I can do sports. So the whole knocking of Joe Buck or Jim Nantz or these other guys who are really good at what they do, they have their jobs because they're good. You can't do this kind of stuff at that level if you're not good. Can you be super? Does everybody love you? No. But it's just amazing to me, and maybe because I'm in the business and I'm slightly skewed, but there are people in the business that I don't think are great. I think they're good, but to be great, it's like when we talk about coaches or players. Is this player great? Is this coach great, or is he just a good coach, or is he a good player? You achieve greatness with levels of success and longevity. You don't become great overnight. You don't become great because you won a couple of games. It's like this whole Charles Barkley, LeBron James feud that's now simmering, and it's become a big topic today. It's insane. Listen, LeBron James has every right to call out Charles Barkley. But remember, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 7-8 in the month of January. Their worst month since 2006, which was like LeBron's third year in the league. All right? So LeBron James' team is playing poorly. They got some injuries, and now they're having open tryouts to get somebody. So when LeBron James goes out there and says, we need to get some players in here to help me, and then they go out and they're going to have an open tryout for free agents, I don't have a problem with that. But when Charles Barkley says something about, and I didn't even hear what Charles said. I know he said something about LeBron. Oh, he said LeBron was whining. LeBron's always whining, not always. I don't want to read the quote. I don't have the exact quote in front of me. But he basically said on TNT, the only NBA show that people pay attention to, because Charles is not only entertaining, but Charles played the game. See, here's the thing that bugs me about this whole dynamic. People in sports radio, media people, writers who never played sports, athletes don't want to hear about whether they're whiners or whether they're great, because the old argument is, well, you never played the game, so you don't understand what we go through as athletes. And you know what? They're right. But when Charles Barkley, just because he didn't win an NBA championship, doesn't mean and he's paid, by the way, for his opinion now as a former Hall of Fame great player. So if Charles Barkley's paid for his opinion on TNT about basketball, and he gives an opinion that the best player in the NBA is whining, the whole world turns on Charles Barkley now because, God forbid, he gave an opinion? And LeBron fired back, and that's his right to do so. But to now do polls and surveys and who's right, Charles Barkley, just proves how petty and how absorbed we are. Like, you could say I'm petty for asking Joe Buck about his rings, but you know what? People who watch him on the broadcast are probably saying the same thing. Why do you have a ring on your middle finger and one on your ring finger, right?
Right. I mean, it is.
That's
it's
the kind
unusual.
of stuff people care about. But the whole taking sides in whether Charles Barkley was right or LeBron James, they were both right. Charles Barkley's paid for his opinion on TNT. He gave it. LeBron James is whining because Charles gave an opinion that he disagreed with, and so he ripped Charles. End of story. But for all the talking heads to go crazy and kneel and so Charles Barkley's supposed to genuflect in front of LeBron James because he called him a whiner? Or because LeBron's the best player in basketball? That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. That's why Charles Barkley is in a studio as a former player. That's why Kenny the Jet Smith is there. That's why they use former players, so that they actually have some semblance of knowledge of what's going through these players' minds. So that's the thing about the LeBron Charles Barkley thing that I just shook my head at today. I mean, I'm looking at Super Bowl news. I'm trying to keep track of everything else going on. And then all of a sudden, this Charles Barkley and LeBron James feud?
It's crazy. You know what they need, Tony?
What do they need?
They need a little bit more joy in their life.
Yes, they do.
And
I seek joy every day. I ran into Joy the other day, but she was with her husband. And therefore, I had to move on. But I didn't run out of her place like this pastor in Florida. Did you see that story?
No.
This pastor was apparently having extramarital affairs with this woman.
Uh-huh.
The husband came home. The pastor ran out of the place naked. Absolutely naked.
Ain't
nobody got time for that. Exactly right.
But you know what? You know what kind of joy I'm referring to,
Yes,
Tony?
one of our great sponsors, Joy Watches.
The shipment of the Joy watches is going to be coming in it's probably there today. But we had the fabulous Joy watches when we were down in Tampa, and they are awesome.
And the great thing is that they're not ridiculously outrageous. You don't have to go spend $150 for a watch.
But they're hip and trendy. They have all sorts of different. It's art and time combined.
And now with kids, kids like to wear watches with different watch bands, all kinds of different designs. They're interchangeable. The watch bands are silicone, and then the waterproof piece, the actual timepiece, fits into the watch band.
Right, and so you can switch your band as often as you like with the different waterproof bands. They're good down to like 30 feet underwater, and it is. And there's a. Oh gosh, what am I thinking of? You can design your own. Like
exactly.
You can have these different parties. Francie, a friend of ours, her daughter had a birthday party, and they had, instead of like giving away the normal party favors, they had Joy watches that all the girls got to design on their own, and there's a special kind of a process so that it's indelible.
Did they trust the process, by the way?
They did. They trusted the process, and so they got to go home with really cool personalized watches instead of like those stupid little, like party favors that most kids get.
And so if you want to see all the great designs, and you can order them online, go to Joy Watches, right?
Yeah, joyjoywatches.com.
Joy.
See them for yourself.
Joy, put together, joyjoywatches.com. Or is it, it's joyjoywatches.com. Go check them out for yourself. Prices are great. It's something that's hip and trendy. Your kids will love it. We got the school year going on. Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
Instead of getting flowers or chocolates or something, Get a Joy Joy watch.
I mean,
and a couple of different bands too.
Yeah, I do like it. Like they have the glow in the dark ones, especially for
I
Tony
love those.
Bruno.
Yes.
You know, just in case you get lost, at least you can find your.
And I can't even
timepiece.
find my phone when it's dark, so at least the watch will be right there.
And they have a really, really cool one that I like that looks like Dels Blue. For those of you who don't know that, that's a Dutch thing. But yeah, they have them. I mean, for anything that you could possibly imagine, they are there, and they have them in men's and women's sizes.
Beautiful. We want to thank them for being one of our sponsors too, and we'll have another great sponsor tomorrow too, that'll join us here on Radio Row.
Yes, and last but not least, I gotta say, traveling around, one of the things that is always difficult is sleeping in beds that you are not used to.
Correct.
You know what I wish I had? I wish we had one of the chiromatric mattresses here.
Can you say that again, Ron?
I can't. I'm a little bit tongue-tied. Chiromatic mattress. Chiromaticmattress.com for those of you who would like to check it out. Since 1977, they are the only mattress designed by chiropractors.
Beautiful.
That have come together. They're another one of our fantastic
We're going to need
sponsors.
one of those because my mattress is
seriously.
my mattress is great, but it's like 10 years old. You should really change your mattresses at least every 10 years, if not sooner, right?
I think it's time. I think it's time that we definitely need a new mattress, and we are going to have to talk to Johnny, who loves the show and is one of the representatives at Chiromatic Mattress. And if you go to chiromatic.com.
How do you spell it for me, Robin? I want to write it down.
CHIRO.
Chiro, like in chiropractic.
Correct. MATIC.
Chiromatic.
Chiromatic.com. And you can see they have all sorts of different mattresses, including, which is so it is so perfect. Goodness gracious.
What's wrong with you, Robin?
Perfect for Super Bowl is they have a special sports mattress. So like if you are into sports, if you exercise, if you sleep in this, it'll actually help you regenerate faster afterwards.
Beautiful.
How awesome is that?
Beautiful.
I hear you, baby.
I hear you too, Dutch. So there you have it. We want to thank the Chiromatic people, chiromatic.com, Joy Joy Watches, and of course, Thin Optics.
Yes, and last but not least, GameTime.co.
GameTime.co. We told you last year at the Super Bowl about this. It's a great app. Download it. Get tickets to any event, and you can see where the seats are at all of these different venues, whether it's concerts, whether it's sporting events. You go online to the GameTime.co. Put it in your app. Put that app in.
Yes.
Because you can buy up to the last second.
It's not just sports; it's anything.
I said concerts, everything else.
You know, I'd be curious. I should look it up. I'll have that information for you tomorrow when we do the show. I'm going to put it on and see if I can actually see any of the seats that are still available, maybe for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we will have Sean Pate, the man in charge, on with us, and he'll give us the latest Super Bowl ticket information and more on GameTime.co when he joins us here on Radio Row in a couple of days. There's always like a new idea. There's all these kinds of second market ticket sellers all over the place, and all the sports leagues are involved in them. GameTime.co is state of the art. Very few places when you buy a seat, you'll know where the seat is. They may tell you a section or a number. You actually see from the seat that you pick out that's available what it looks like sitting in that seat. So if you're looking for any tickets, not just a Super Bowl, anything, any concerts, any events that you need to buy tickets for, go to GameTime.co. We thank our sponsors, and we will be back tomorrow. We're going to do an extended, maybe overtime. I mean, we may just take it all night long, depending on which party is occurring tomorrow night.
I think we should, because there's so much going on. I mean, for us, it's been a little bit crazy because we don't have enough people to run around and do everything that we need to do. We miss Luigi.
Yes, we do.
We wish he could have been here. It's very clear that it would have been fantastic to have him here. But we're having fun, and that's what matters, right?
And hopefully you're having fun too. In the meantime, we want to thank everybody for listening in today and joining us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and of course on Periscope as well. We'll continue doing shows, and we try to do live stuff all over the place. And unfortunately, with the Wi-Fi situation, when we try to do our Periscopes and live video streams, we've had trouble, including last night's big media night. So we'll just keep trying.
Pissed off.
I am too when that happens, but what are you going to do? It's technology, and Wi-Fi is not reliable. That's why you got to go hardwire. You got to go hardwire. I do not have the close of the show in there, Robin, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay, but you know what? Play any music.
Let's
Just
play
some
NFL
other music. So while we're going out.
Let's play NFL music. In the meantime, we will see you, as the great Joe Buck once said, we will see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.